Every once in a while, I'll get a comment or a question. Someone will ask, do I cook this way all the time? So in this video, I want to show you guys how I like to cook at home. I'm going to show you my favorite way to do quesadillas. It's simple, it's easy. My kids love them. I'm going to show you some chimi skirt steak quesadillas with some pineapple, pickled jalapeno peppers. Easy, simple weeknight meal. Let's do it. This one really is simple, nothing to be afraid of. We're gonna start with some outside skirt steak. Now check this out. I don't know if you've seen skirt steak at home before, but it's long sinews. A lot of people are kind of afraid of it, like it's tough, but it's only tough if you don't cook it the right way. Rest assured, I'm gonna show you a couple of tips and tricks. We're gonna start with a bit of lime juice. If you give your lime a good roll before you cut it, it loosens up some of that juice on the inside. It's a pretty juicy lime. Let's see, we might need two. Let's see how one looks. We're gonna go right over the top of our skirt. Now this is going to give us two different things. It's gonna give us flavor, but as it sits and marinates on the steak, it's also going to tenderize it just a bit. You know, I feel pretty good. Definitely use a bowl if you want to. You can use a plastic bag. I wouldn't do lime juice or any citric acid on your meat for longer than a couple of hours. You don't wanna do it overnight. It'll start to denature the proteins. CJ's nodding at me from behind the camera. I'm getting nerdy. You don't want to do it too far in advance. An hour is perfectly fine. I'm going to take some of our carne asada seasoning, which is a one-stop shop to Flavortown. It is delicious and fantastic. Next time you're at Lowe's, make sure you grab a bit. So I'm going to be fairly generous here, and I'm going to grab just a bit of olive oil and add that over the top. So that was basically 3 ingredients. That's all we need. Grab a pair of tongs, give it a toss, make sure it's nice and coated. Let's let that sit for 15 to 20 minutes. Chimichurri really is simple and it's versatile. It's so good. I like to do equal parts parsley and cilantro. So I'm gonna chop that up nice and rough. It doesn't have to be a mince. It doesn't have to be super tiny. Just give it a nice rough chop. I also want to add a bit of garlic. Again, it doesn't have to be perfect. The nice thing about chimi is it's kind of a rough, rustic kind of thing. Give it a nice rough chop. Let's mix everything together and start going to town. It's funny, when I was 15, I had a job in a really fantastic French bistro, and it was like my second day of work, and the sous chef, his name was Prentice, he was amazing. He had like a really long goatee, the kind like you put multiple little ties in. And he said, hey, we need some parsley garnish for the line. It's like, sweet, cool. Like 15, super excited. I'd been watching Julia Child, I know my stuff, my very first job. And he pulls out a crate. I don't know if you've ever been, if you've ever worked in a restaurant, but parsley comes in a big crate. So he pulls out the crate and just kind of like pops it on the table. And I'm talking, this is like, I don't know, 25, 30 bunches of parsley. And he goes, let me know when you're done. It's like, tonight? I was so nervous. It was funny. He showed me a trick though. He had a little radio right next to me. He started playing some Pantera and he handed me 2 knives. And he's like doing like playing the drums and going to town. It was pretty cool. Prentice, if you're watching, I miss you, buddy. I learned a lot from you. All right, that looks really great. Now we're gonna add all of this to a bowl. Remember I said chimi is super simple. It is. Ooh, well, here, pro move right here. We're gonna slide our cutting board off the edge a little bit so our cutting board hangs. Then we can put all of our herbs. Come on, play the wind, ladies and gentlemen. Oh yeah, there we go. Now we're gonna take the rest of that lime and go right over the top. I like that. I'm gonna let all these flavors kind of combine together. Oh, we need a couple more things. Let's add a little bit of olive oil and some salt and pepper. Give that a nice stir, let those flavors marry and marinate together. You know, I'm gonna add a little bit more olive oil to this. I like it to be a little loose, a little saucy if you will, a bit more oil. And I wanna add some more of that carne asada seasoning. Again, this stuff is awesome. It's so good. It's got a lot of bright, wonderful flavors. Really takes the guesswork out of it. Oh man, it smells so good already. Cilantro and the parsley. Oof, that's money. All right, one last thing before we get to cooking, because skirt steak does cook. It cooks really fast. It cooks really fast. I've got some red and green, well, some red chili and some green jalapeno. I'm gonna do some real thin slices. Now, if you're cooking for the kiddos, like I am today, make sure to save this part on the side because it can get a little hot. Nice thin little ribbons of pepper, the red and the green. That looks great. Now we're gonna add all of this right here into our bowl. Beauty, just like that. Now this is not a traditional pickle. We're not actually pickling them, but I like to use a bit of pineapple juice. There's just such a bright, wonderful flavor in pineapple. I'm gonna go with some pineapple juice right over the top of those peppers. Let's hit that with just a bit of oil and a touch of that gorgeous carne asada seasoning. You know, before I do that, I'm gonna do a little bit of lime juice to compound that bright, wonderful fruit flavor from the pineapple. Let's go with a little bit of lime. Oh yeah. Then we'll add some of that carne asada. Again, this can get pretty spicy as it kind of pickles, as it gets a little sweet in that liquid. The heat does mellow out a little bit, but not enough for the littles. So I'm definitely keeping that on the side. So it's been about 10 minutes or so. You could go longer if you want to, but I'm hungry. My boys are hungry. It's time to cook. So I have my Blackstone set to high heat, preheating, so it's pretty hot. I don't need to add a ton of oil because I have oil on my beautiful skirt. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna throw this whole thing down. We want that beautiful sear. We want that Maillard reaction. You ready for this? Oh, that's what we're looking for. That is what we want to hear. If you want to, you can go back over the top with a little bit more of that seasoning. Oh, it smells so good. Once that lime juice and seasoning hit that hot oil, it really is like a real giant pop of wonderful, beautiful aroma. I mean, that's kind of it. We have cheese and tortillas to go. That's a simple Wednesday night meal. So we're gonna let that cook for, let's say 2 or 3 minutes per side. What we're looking for is that beautiful crust, that Maillard. Give it a flip. Once it's cooked on both sides, it's time to bring it over to the cutting board to cut it. But we're gonna cut it properly. Oh, beautiful. Now, if you look closely, you can see the lines of the sinew. That's the lines of the protein. When you hear someone talk about cutting against the grain, so if the lines go this way, this will be cutting with the grain. If I go this way, now I'm cutting against the grain, so I can take a piece of meat like a skirt steak, which can sometimes be a little tough. We're gonna let this rest, and then we're gonna slice it, and you'll see how tender and amazing it is. While that's resting, let's go ahead and clean up our griddle. Now I'm gonna take a spatula. Now you'll notice on the griddle top, there's a lot of that leftover residual sugar, things like that. We need to get that cleaned up, so let's hit it with some water and give it a nice scrape. Make sure it's nice and clean, there's no debris left over, and we are ready to go on our tortillas. Let's add just a bit of olive oil so our tortillas have something to crisp up on. Now it's time to cut this gorgeous, beautiful steak. So the grains are going this way. Again, we're gonna cut with the grain on the first cut, just like that. So we have 2 smaller pieces. Now we are going to go, see the lines? Lines are right here. We're gonna go against the grain. So the lines are going this way. We want to cut this way, against those grains. Now we're gonna cut them fairly small. I feel like in quesadillas, you want real nice bite-sized pieces, so you're not, pulling off a whole strip of steak with each bite. So let's slice that down nice and thin, long ways. Now I'm gonna go into smaller, tiny bite-sized pieces as well. Beautiful. Now this doesn't have to be perfect. It's just cooking. Don't worry about a recipe. Don't even worry about doing it the exact same way I do it. Do the way you like to do it. Speaking of the way I like to do it, I love these large flour tortillas. Now the way I like to do this is I'm gonna go right down on the griddle with my tortilla, then I'm gonna cover the entire surface with cheese. All over it, cover it, make that thing look gorgeous. Let's add some of that gorgeous chimi. Be as generous as you like. There is a lot of flavor, so you don't have to go crazy heavy, but it does add a gorgeous flavor profile that you are going to love. Then we're gonna add some of that gorgeous steak over the top, make sure it's nice and even. This only takes about 60 to 90 seconds. Then I'm gonna flip the unmeated side, that's a technical term, right over the top, creating the quesadilla. Let it cook for another 90 seconds. We can flip it a few times here and there. Basically what we're looking for is a golden, crispy crust and melty, stunning cheese. Let's do that one more time. Throw our flour tortilla right down on the hot griddle. Cover every inch with that beautiful cheese. Now we're gonna put some of that shimmy nice and even. This one's for me, so I'm gonna add some of those hot and spicy, beautiful pineapple pickled peppers. Then we're gonna add our steak right over the top. Now again, this does not take long, maybe 2.5 minutes per side, depending on how crispy you like it. But what we're left with is a stunning, gorgeous steak chimi quesadilla. All right, let's give that a slice and we are ready to eat. Boys, what do you think?
Good.
Yeah? You ready? I'm gonna give you a dad plate. If you don't know what that is,
I don't know.
it's a paper towel. All right, you guys, so this one has really spicy jalapeno peppers. The other one doesn't. Do you want spicy jalapenos or no?
No.
No? Okay, I'll cut some small ones for you. All right, beautiful. Here you go, buddy. Lime on the side. All right, here, I'll cut this one in half for you. Half a lime? You guys are crazy. All right, give that a try. Let me know what you think. Now, quesadillas really are one of those things we do all the time. Do you like when I make quesadillas? Yeah, me too. They're really simple. It's kind of like a open canvas, a free canvas to do whatever you want to do. Adding some flavors like chimichurri is really fantastic, and those pineapple pickled jalapeno peppers. Whoa. Whoa?
Good.
How good? Tell me. Super good? You guys want to eat the rest of these?
You're the best.
You're the best. High five. Give me some. Give me some. Yes. All right, finish your quesadilla.
High five.
Oh,
Too slow. High five.
you gonna trick me?
This is
He tricked me. Thank you guys for hanging out. These are fun. We're gonna go eat some more quesadillas. Be sure to follow Blackstone products on all of our social media channels. Check out CJ's First Cooking Show. Check out Betty's show. Check out Todd's show. But this is Cook, Eat, Repeat, where we help you become a better cook, one recipe at a time. Right, boys? So see you later.
See you later.
See you guys. Quesadilla cheers.
No, I'm dead.
Okay.